Hello, welcome to the Exotic Trash Podcast. I'm your host, Joey Simcoe, and with us today we've got... Introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm the co-host, Jimmy Skidmore, in my room today because nobody would give up any other room in the house.
No one asked.
I'm Evan. I'm back after like 3 months.
And
Podcast
special
back
guest
after
star.
Special guest star, your old friend and trusted associate, Benjamin Lamar Gillig. That's not actually my middle name.
I wish it was.
Put that down on a professional development sign-up sheet this year, and now all my co-teachers at the middle school think my middle name's Lamar, and I feel like I've come too far with it to break it to them otherwise. So that's, the whole thing with the middle name being Martin, to honor my mom's side of the family, that's out the window.
It's Lamar now.
It's Lamar now.
It's just Lamar.
It's Lamartin.
Lamartin.
The Martin.
There
French Martin.
that was the WWF manager, Frenchie Martin. It was like very casually discriminatory, but a monocle and a beret. I think he would like smoke a cigarette and carry around a baguette of bread.
Did he have one of the long holders for a cigarette?
As everyone does.
Most assuredly, yeah, I think so.
But all right, this week's episode is kind of a mishmash of topics, but it's going to loosely be around local government since we have a professional in the topic here.
Yes, we do have a professional, and it's not any of us.
Me.
It's Big E, recently elected mayor of Tiffin. Big E.
Except we don't live in Tiffin. We don't have any addresses. We don't live anywhere.
That's right.
Wait.
We are in Alaska.
Do you live in the city, or are you guys outside the city limits?
I'm outside of the city limits.
I'm outside city limits.
Big E
Well,
lives
I'm
in the
Alaska, so.
For anybody watching, Big E lives right over by Six's Corners, right next to the bank.
Oh, you on North Sandusky?
Yeah, that's right where Big E is.
Very nice. That's one of the most historic neighborhoods in the city. Just
Yeah,
up the street from you, where the oh gosh, I'm trying to think of their last name. But that house used to belong to a judge here in the city called Truman Bagby. He somehow got elected judge, even though he had no legal training whatsoever. But he was a judge for a bit, and the legend has always been, never verified, that his house was a stop on the Underground Railroad.
Oh.
And, the sheriff actually lived right next door to him, and everything was still operating without the sheriff having any idea. So one of the Tiffin legends, don't know how true it is, but pretty rad.
Biggie, can you turn down your volume a little bit? I'm getting feedback.
Yeah, I am also.
Dude, how would I just go turn off everything in my bedroom?
Well,
Yeah,
no,
that's probably a... You know what?
I think the feedback was from the audio, but whatever. He's got it, I'm sure.
Okay.
But, yeah, that's – honestly, this could be just as good of a Tiffin history podcast.
Yeah, honestly. But so in these new trying times with this whole Corona stuff,
Never heard
with
of it.
this whole pandemic, that was a loose finger quote. Not a okay. Don't.
You're not sharing any thoroughly discredited videos on social media, are you?
I was going to say, Joe, you got to be careful over there. You don't want to be denying it.
My Uncle Ron is right. His Facebook posts are.
They're going to chip us. They're doing it to chip us. But
here's like my whole theory about that. If the whole shutdown was not necessary, there is no way anyone would have done it, because it is a horrible move politically.
yeah.
I mean, it is going to use up whatever political capital you have. Like Mike DeWine right now is slowly turning into probably one of the most hated people in the state, if not the most hated. But there's no way he would have done those things if he didn't think it was in our best interest, because it's probably going to be political suicide.
Yeah.
But he's 72 years old. He's probably like, I don't care. I've had a lifetime in government. I can retire at this point.
Yeah.
I'd actually have been in better shape having him because, he may not be interested in being a two-termer.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think he's 71 or 72 years old. He's been in public office for like 40 years. I mean, he's got to have a pretty nice pension waiting for him.
Oh, yeah, career politician.
And I like that he looks like old Rick Moranis.
Old Rick Moranis.
Don't talk bad about Rick Moranis.
I wasn't talking bad about Rick Moranis. I was saying that Mike
That's what he looks
DeWine
like.
just happens to look like Rick Moranis.
We love Rick Moranis.
Yeah, I love
Everyone loves Rick
Rick
Moranis.
Honey, I Shrunk the Government.
Seriously.
Honey, I Shrunk the Economy.
Oh. Well, that has been brutal. I mean, that's interesting you say that because city is just getting hammered right now with loss of income tax revenue. I mean, it's dropped 30% the last 2 months, and we're going to have to start making some really tough decisions. And the first two came last Monday. We had to close the pool.
Yeah.
The pool would have been a complete nightmare. And I feel terrible about it because, I take my boys there all the time. I'll meet my mom there. Did my mom have you in school, or did my mom have your dad in school, Jimmy?
It wasn't me, so it must have been my father.
The older James.
The
third.
James Skidmore,
The third one.
Because she knows the name Skidmore. She was like, Jimmy?
Yeah. Yeah, that would have been about the same. It's kind of a cycle, It's the cycle of Jimmy. You go Jimmy, then you go Jim, and if you don't die from your sleep apnea, you become James again.
I understand.
So I got to get tested for that at some point
Yes,
before my heart
should.
explodes.
You snore terribly?
What?
You snore really badly?
I don't know. I sleep alone.
Yeah.
I see.
No, he snores
Are you
loudly.
crying?
No.
Are you
No, I'm not. Shut up.
Maybe Joey and Evan can come over and play a ukulele or a mandolin to get you to sleep, and then report back on
how it is. Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Big
"Guys,
E
this
snores
is painful.
badly.
Just stop breathing 5 times.
I think your heart skipped a couple beats.
Well, I mean, fun fact: every single strongman in World Strongman has sleep apnea. So
I believe that.
The size of their necks.
yeah,
Probably.
so much weight on your chest.
I actually have sleep apnea. I've had a machine for like 7 years now. Oddly enough.
They're kind of nice. I used my dad's once just because I thought it'd be cool to try.
It's fun.
They make you breathe really well.
Yeah, absolutely. And the funny thing, though, is you still have to justify things to insurance. And they're like, okay, Ben, why do you need this? I'm like, I need it to live.
Yeah. My dad can't get a new one because,
I know.
it's been like 10 years he's had this one. And they're like, it still works. The heating element's broke, but it still works.
That's exactly. I mean, like, mine is still steam powered.
It's actually really counterproductive because I'm also breathing in a bunch of
Fumes.
pollution.
Yeah.
I have to hire a guy to shovel coal. I'm going in the red here, fellas. Like,
Got it at a garage sale in England. Off the
Jimmy.
Queen.
Jimmy, real quick,
Yeah.
before we started this episode, I saw you were sipping on something. What was that?
It's a Dr. Pepper.
Oh, are you talking about the great, terrific taste of Dr. Pepper?
Yeah.
As in Dr. Pepper, the thing that hasn't sponsored us yet? Dr. Pepper, please sponsor
Dr.
us.
Pepper.
Why does that Dr. Pepper look so
Dr.
large
Pepper.
in your hands, Joey?
I have small hands.
I suppose.
I don't think I have Dr. Pepper anymore.
Evan, why does your Dr. Pepper look like Old Spice?
No, it's Dr. Pepper.
Wait,
Michigan,
hold on.
like,
This
where's your
episode is
Old
sponsored
Spice?
by, that's icky in here. By Crystal Pepsi.
oh, geez.
Well, they won't sponsor us.
Crystal
We keep
Pepsi.
giving free
Yeah,
advertising.
I hide them in here in the cupboard of cool
Shame.
cans.
Cool
No.
kid.
Yeah, you see I've got this can, which is from when Ohio State won.
Nice.
Ooh.
It's absolutely off topic entirely, and it doesn't have any bearing on what's happening, but
No, I mean, if you look behind me, you'll see my fairly large collection of Tiffin-related bottles.
Those Tiffin glass.
Milk up there, yeah, milk and a couple whiskey jugs.
I have
Hold
Star
on.
Wars.
Did you
toaster.
say Red Bull Blue Edition? The
Red
Great
Bull.
Taster Red Bull Blue Edition is so fantastic. It vitalizes the body and mind.
Speaking of which, did you mention Juicy Drop gum?
Fun,
they don't
fun that you
food
mentioned
fight.
that, but did you say Cheez-Its extra toasty?
Now, gentlemen, if we're going to talk about such things, we've got to support local businesses such as
JT's Bagel Bars. Yeah.
Whoa!
located on Sycamore Street, and actually in the city lot tomorrow, offering up their delicious blend of steamed bagel sandwiches along with fresh made cake donuts, and I think they're also throwing in some deep fried Oreos. So, we should all probably meet there and just eat until we're utterly ashamed of ourselves.
Oh, yeah. I bought some Asiago cheese bagels just today
Oh,
because they're my favorite. They're absolutely my favorite bagel on earth.
all right, you three listen to me closely right now. I want you tomorrow to go and purchase an AM starter on Asiago. It is like a ton of bacon,
Yeah.
like Swiss and American cheese, and egg. Throw that on an Asiago bagel, and it's just like the best thing you've ever had. in your
Oh,
life.
yeah. I used to have those during lunch when we could get the $5 any choice bagel.
Oh yeah. Personally, I'm a big CBR guy, chicken bacon ranch. That always hits well with Joey.
This episode may be sponsored by JT's Bagel Bar. That one's actually kind of reasonable.
Did I mention the
That
sweet
doesn't
taste
count.
of
Try
Swedish
AJ's
fish?
Heavenly Pizza.
Oh wait,
AJ's Heavenly Pizza.
what?
This episode sponsored by
AJ himself.
Little
AJ.
Hugo. I
So-
could get AJ to come up here and
I actually don't know who the A is. The J is John Hill. He was one of the founders.
Oh,
They actually were trying to start a pizza place in, I think, Perrysburg. And Perrysburg wasn't interested, so they wound up coming to Tiffin. They're like, hey, there's 2 colleges in Tiffin. We could probably make money selling pizzas.
they did.
That's in 1981. And if you've
It
ever
worked.
noticed, if you notice there's like a Tiffin AJ's, a Findlay AJ's, and then can any of you gentlemen tell me the other state where AJ's is located?
Indiana.
Not Indiana,
Michigan.
Cantusa, Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
What?
Yeah.
That's out. That is out there. I thought it'd be a closer state.
Well, Mr. Hill, obviously AJ's Heavenly Pizza. He's a born-again Christian, and he moved to Oklahoma to study at a biblical college,
Okay.
and wound up establishing a franchise out there. Kind of rad. Evan, are you related to any of the Fort Ball Elkers?
nope.
Nope.
I
He's
get that
his own
about
elker.
once a week, and no.
My father
Maybe
worked
start
there.
claiming you are and get your discount on the buffet.
I'm sorry, what?
He's deaf, apparently. Oh, sorry, what'd you say?
Ah! Speak up, Mr. Gillig.
But yeah, that was a good plug of all local businesses. Support your
What
local.
about Little Hugo's?
Yeah, it's all right.
Evan, can you get us a sponsorship? Then I don't care.
Yeah, I'll ask John to get us a Little Hugo sponsorship.
Little
Oh,
Hugo.
Hugo's now.
We have a fryer now.
Ooh,
We can
stepping
make
up
pizza.
in the world.
That's changed hands so many times in my lifetime. The Little Hugos. It's like a football. Like nope, I don't want it anymore. Nope. In fact, our old defensive line coach owned it with his sister for a little while when I was your age. And he was
Wow.
just like, he was this giant guy with a Fu Manchu who was like the scariest human being I've ever met. And there he is, like slinging ice cream, looking like he was going to murder you. And
Bet you got free ice cream though.
no, heavens no! I think I paid double because I was so scared. He just wouldn't-
Imagine
Yeah,
looking
fun.
like
Yeah, that's
sponsoring.
good for a small vanilla cone.
Here's $8.
Real quick, I want to talk about JT's actually, really
Yeah.
quick. So Mayor Montz tweeted out about the Chick-fil-A truck coming in, and then JT's responded, "How about some support for the local businesses?" And like, I saw no responses to that whatsoever. So I feel like that was like a mic drop sort of deal right
It
there.
was a call out.
And here's the thing. It looked terrible when he initially announced it. Because, I mean, I'm even sitting there looking at it just thinking, are we serious right now? But the thing is, the city has no actual power to prevent any business from coming in and setting up.
Okay.
There had been negotiations about 2 or 3 months earlier, and they don't even really need our permission. Once they get set up and get their license and what have you, they can operate wherever they wanted. We offered the use of the city lots because, we'd done that for JT's and other local businesses before. But actually, to their credit, Chick-fil-A backed off. They were supposed to come here every Wednesday and decided to put that off for a little bit. And, I get it. The optics didn't look great. And he probably should have led with that, to be honest. But, Mayor Montz does a lot of great stuff for the community. And he's generally very well aware of those types of implications. But yeah, the timing was a little odd, but I also know we've been kind of chasing Chick-fil-A for like the last 7 years, and
Yeah.
we probably would have let him cater like a state funeral if it meant that they were going to come to the
They're
city.
gonna, yeah.
Like, yeah, sure, just set up right outside of Green Lawn. And,
I will say to credit Chick-fil-A, also what you said with them backing off, it's very different food from what we have. So I would have felt a lot worse, or I would have been a lot like, I've been almost skeptical if like Chick-fil-A had showed up and we had a place that basically sold specifically chicken sandwiches like that.
right.
Other than Lee's. I don't even know if they have. Do they have a chicken sandwich at Lee's?
Probably.
But
KFC?
Well, KFC's a chain too. I mean, you can't feel bad about taking business from another chain. But JT Bagel Bars is delicious, but it's a specialty food place. So Chick-fil-A, I don't feel it would have taken. I don't feel it took too much from JT's because those are two very different moods. I mean, you're not. If you want a chicken sandwich, you could get like a chicken ranch at JT's, but it's still not really a chicken sandwich from Chick-fil-A. So I thought it was all right just because they were such different businesses.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, some of the argument is just, and it makes perfect sense because you got to figure. Some estimates say we might lose like 30 to 40% of our downtown businesses.
Yeah.
May not be able to reopen because of this, which is horrifying to even think about. And, these are scary times. I mean, shoot, guys, since March, the entire world's been upside down. You guys got to get out of your senior year. And, that might have just felt like one more thing on top of, folks that are already struggling to pay, their light bill and what have you in these local businesses.
Right.
It certainly would have been a lot better had it not come in the middle of a government mandated shutdown. But
yeah,
I think it'll be a good partnership. I mean, I'm pretty sure the lines have been astronomical.
Yeah.
The times that it's been here. So.
Yeah, I waited a while.
But then that's the other thing. Does then Chick-fil-A see that as the most viable economic option? Like, hey, we're already getting people's money in Tiffin. Why should we build a store? Or will this be the impetus to make them think, yeah, we got to set up a store here in Tiffin. It'll be great.
Yeah, I hope that they set one up. There's plenty of room.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's also the other aspects of businesses that don't like sell food or anything like that, like tattoo parlors and retail stores, like not grocery stores, not restaurants. Like those guys are also suffering pretty heavily right now too, because
Absolutely.
they can't get any business whatsoever because they're considered non-essential.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's been one of the most difficult things to reconcile. Like, what do you keep open? What do you close? I think I've heard the perfect thing that they could have done was, that movie Click with Adam Sandler, just hit pause on it for 2 weeks, and then and that would have probably taken care of things. But the world doesn't quite work like that, and we're seeing the pretty devastating ramifications that have come from what was, most definitely necessary.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I don't know about Joey's uncle that
My made-up uncle.
So
videos.
this is a little less specifically like COVID related,
Sure.
but do you know anything about the mall or like what's going to happen to the mall?
There hasn't been a new mall built in the United States since 1980.
Oh my God.
They are shuttering pretty well all around the country. It is cycled through owners in the last few years as well. There's a company that owns it. I think they were trying to make a go of it. They added Planet Fitness, and then that had to shut down almost immediately. They added Kiku, Japanese Fusion. That had to shut. That wound up shutting down during the crisis. But as for what to do with the other stuff, I honestly have no idea because Finley Mall can barely keep places. Elder Beerman's gone. JCPenney's gone. How do we then attract people to a place that is smaller in size? I'd almost, in a perfect world, if I had a ton of money, I'd turn it into a giant antique mall. Make it like a destination. There's plenty of parking.
Yeah.
Just lots of room. People could set up. You charge the rent and what have you. Really, it's a sweet deal for people that run an antique mall. It's just like, hey, pay us to put your stuff here and we'll sell it and keep a portion of your money.
That's
awesome.
That's a great idea. They have one of those in Hocking Hills that was near our hotel. They had something specifically like that. I remember going to it.
Nice.
They had a bunch of booths just like that. That's a good idea.
It's all yours, gentlemen. We'll call it the Exotic Trash Antique Mall.
That fits perfectly. The Exotic Trash Antique Mall.
People will come. People will come.
You will come.
People will most definitely come.
And
you guys out in the cornfield, there's a ghost whispering to you. Long dead baseball players coming out of the cornfield. Exotic Trash. And going to find a reclusive author somewhere.
And the mall's only going to cost what, like $3 million?
Oh, probably. I mean, just the amount of land that's available.
Real estate ain't cheap, bud.
Yeah.
Prime location, yeah.
So I suppose.
The mall, I think, is also in with, or the property is also in with, Panda Express and the car wash and what have you. I mean, that's all pretty well connected.
Yeah.
For years, that whole area has been owned by a family from Cleveland. Wisconsin is their name. And they've really done well by Westgate. It's been a pretty thriving part, of our community for a while. There's really not too many empty storefronts other than the old Pack of Pans right now.
Yeah.
Out there, so.
Is Gordman shutting down? I thought I heard Gordman's was shutting down.
I don't know, but that had to be tough because they were just establishing, their presence here, and then
or at least declaring bankruptcy. I don't know if they're shutting down, but I thought I heard they were declaring bankruptcy. I know that those two things aren't always shutting down and declaring bankruptcy aren't always the same a synonym.
At Toys R Us.
Yeah. Bankruptcy is basically what you do when you don't want to pay your creditors back. Like, it's actually a sound economic strategy.
I declare bankruptcy.
What creditors do you have, Joe? You're like 19 years old and you live with your parents.
My parents are my creditors.
I'm not paying you guys anything.
But yeah, that kind of sucks because I get my favorite pairs of underwear from Gordman's.
You really?
Oh, you poor thing.
Yeah, they have all these cool graphic underwears, like Cheez-Its box and just zany characters.
You shop for novelty underwear?
Yes, I do because it's funny.
We can
The
make them
funny
all
reveal.
a big, massive.
So
underwear.
when you wake up, you
I
put
like
on
it.
this pair of underwear and you chuckle, and then nobody sees it for the entire day. And you come home and get ready to get in the shower, and then you chuckle again.
It's
I'm still
fun.
trying.
Joey's a wrestler, so
That's true.
they always show off each other's underwear.
Now listen to me carefully. I'm still trying to figure out how young Joey Simcoe managed to, get posted on the Tiffin City Schools website his 100th win when he was clearly naked behind that sign.
What? What did you?
You guys didn't see that?
My singlet straps were down, and it looked like I was naked behind the sign.
Oh, is that what?
Is that part of
Even
the
facial expression? You were like,
Yeah.
the wrestler
Joey knew what he was
sexy
doing.
calendar for 2020? Joey Simcoe is this month's
underwear on.
January. Or this year's January.
No, I think I'm more of a August kind of guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The 100th win naked sign, Joey. I guess that segues into a good thing or a good topic here. So the school, I heard there's going to be a lot of budget cuts for schools because of Corona, and the levy didn't pass.
right, the operating levy did not pass, so that's going to put any new construction of buildings on hold for, the foreseeable future. I know they're kind of trying to figure out what steps they want to take next. I don't really know what it will look like in terms of cuts to the district for balancing the state's budget. It's actually the way that the way that schools are funded in Ohio has actually been declared unconstitutional like numerous times.
Oh.
But the thing is, no one can figure out a better way to do it.
So we have to break the Constitution. It's the
So
only option.
basically, the Ohio Supreme Court was basically like, yeah, this is illegal, but we absolve you from it, and then just went and had a sandwich. So
A nice chicken sandwich from Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A. So
if you guys don't know how that works, schools are funded by property tax. It's why when you're in nicer neighborhoods, there's extraordinarily beautiful schools. Like you go down to Bexley, Ohio, and there's fountains in the front, and they have yoga enrichment classes and what have you.
yeah.
I think we're in great shape here in Tiffin. I love the school system. They've been my employer my whole professional career. I graduated from here, but we could certainly use a heck of a lot more money, just like pretty well every other school in the state. And that's why so many inner city schools are failing, because the property values and property taxes around the buildings are next to nothing.
Nothing.
So then
Yeah.
it's, well, how do we meet this, pretty needy population with, $5?
Yeah. So
Not quite $5, but
So is it unconstitutional because of that fact that
Yeah.
you can't? Okay, that's what I had figured, but just because you can't really make that equal.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, you can, but nobody wants that.
Yeah, yeah.
I shouldn't say no one wants that. It's kind of
just,
the age-old problem that we face in this country is you have people with lots of money who are listened to very carefully.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's been like that since the beginning.
Yeah. Okay.
One last thing about Gordman's. I was a fan of Gordman's because they actually had a slight big and tall section. I mean, it was like basically a rack. Got a nice champion polo. But then I went in the next time, and the only thing that had my size was a macrame sweatshirt with Tupac on it.
And of course I got it.
Yeah. It's upstairs right now. Yeah,
It's for
so
special.
what is this? Why does this exist?
I'd buy it. I'd buy 2 of them.
I have 2 of them.
I'd buy it, but it would look like a dress on me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, my name's Joey. I'm a
Oh,
skinny
my
wrestler.
I take care of myself.
Oh, I watch what I eat. My name's Joey. Yeah.
I'm literally the
Slices
smallest
of
person
bacon
in this
between 2
room.
Hershey bars like Mr. Gillig. Call it Mr. Gillig's mouth surprise.
Stop it! I'm gonna cry.
I'm gonna. Oh no, skinny boy, gonna cry. In the council of big men, Joey is the outcast.
Joey's over there drinking a protein shake and like doing butterfly curls. And
He's crying. He's
like, I'll show them.
He's staring at the Dr. Pepper.
Oh man.
That's it.
Tell me this. Why does Evan keep like cutting out?
I don't know.
Notifications are coming on my phone.
Oh, you're on your phone.
Yeah.
Low budget over there.
Laptop
Yeah,
is stupid.
We don't make enough
Laptop.
money to buy a company laptop, so we all
The
have to use
laptop
our
said
own.
no, so I had to do this.
Can't you get a
We don't
Chromebook
make
for like $8?
Yeah, probably.
About, yeah. Although it would be worse than the phone.
Probably.
It's like,
Probably. I had mine for like 5 or 6 years, and then it would just start randomly. First of all, you couldn't have it not on a power cord for about the last 2 years.
I believe
Had
that.
a laptop, useless.
It's now a desktop.
And then it would just start, periodically shutting off for no discernible reason. So it's, I don't know, it's somewhere around here. My house is basically nothing but children's toys. So
Yeah.
So is mine.
weird because I don't have
And
any
everyone
kids.
here's a bunch of
Yeah,
teenagers.
yeah. I just keep all of them here for preparation.
Now that's one of the reasons why I was so fond of class of 2020. You guys were 8th graders when I first took over from Mr. Fear, and I was also a first-time dad. Hudson was born the previous April, so that year I'm trying to figure out what in the world I'm actually doing, teaching history and getting up 2 or 3 times a night with a crying baby. But you guys just made it so much fun to come to work.
Oh.
That I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna figure this out. I'm gonna have some fun, but I've gotten way better, Joey. I swear, I'm not like quite as terrible. You're like, Mr. Gillig, who's George Washington? And I'm like,
What
President.
I always think about this whenever someone talks about how hard a test is. I think about the one time you made a test, and at the top of the directions, you said, in the directions, all the answers are C. And people still got questions wrong.
I wouldn't have believed it. If I had that test, I would not have put all C. There's no way.
yeah. Well, that's why I did it. I knew people would freak out. I knew they wouldn't trust themselves. It actually said at the top of it, like, you should know that all of the answers are the same letter. That answer, by the way, is A. And there were people that were just like, no, it can't be right,
Wrong.
Put it on there.
He's lying.
I remember Ainsley Sherman figured it out first, and she just like turns and looks at me, and she's like, I don't believe you. And I'm just smiling and waving, just like.
Man, how did Ainsley get your class, but I didn't?
On his test.
Yeah.
We had Joey who drew a picture of a guy with a beard that said, I was in the revolution before it was cool. Then he had another one that was, hey, I'm Tony the shirt with the volley.
I also did a Warhawk one.
Did you?
Yeah, I drew a Warhawk.
The
Just a hawk with a machine gun or something.
Wow.
Jimmy, you guys want to come back to 8th grade so I can have you in class again?
I think I could definitely get an A now.
Yeah. I wish I could play Little League. I'd be.
Oh, man. Put me back on the 8th grade football team, man. I'd be absolutely smashing kids.
Of that, like grown adult playing Little League football.
Every team should have one adult that plays. And they can't be like a running back or a quarterback. They have to be like a lineman.
Oh, geez. Well, that was. No, you guys are too young to remember Isaiah Moore. I mean, that was Isaiah Moore when he was in 8th grade.
He was I think he was a senior when I was a freshman.
2012, I think, was his senior year.
I remember an Isaiah. I'm thinking of Isaiah Orozco.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a negative, Jimbo.
That's a wrong one there.
Now Isaiah went on. He was at he got a scholarship to Bowling Green, and then wound up not quite qualifying academically. Went out, was a junior college All-American. Then was at Boise State for a while. I believe he's trying to go into the Marine Corps next. But he was two-time lineman of the year, and I mean, it was a man among boys, just a total man among boys.
Just destroying these poor kids.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you got like 140-pound 8th grade center going up against 6'3", 270 Isaiah. Just like, good luck.
Yeah. Oh man, that was old times. I hardly remember 8th grade.
Yeah, well, that was when you were sniffing glue pretty hard, if I recall correctly, Jimmy.
I don't think I was huffing glue. I might have been. I think I was a marker kid.
Remember those markers with the delicious?
I was a pixie stick kid.
Mr. Hawk called someone's parents because they had the flavor, the scented markers, and he was just sniffing it because it was scented. And he called his parents, told him he was huffing markers. I remember that because that was around the same time that he turned on this video. It was like I don't know, it was like a student project, but it was like an animated student project about whatever topic we were doing. I was like,
poorly animated.
Yeah, so I was like, I've seen this before. And he was like, cool, go stand in the hall. And then he made me stand in the hall for the entire thing.
Okay.
And I wasn't mad because it was a fantastic joke. Or at least I hope it was.
No, he was just really mad.
I don't know if he was mad or not. So I've always just assumed it was a joke. And I'm going to keep assuming it was a joke. But I'll never know.
You got like an enemies list and like you're right at the top of it. Like,
like he really screwed. I think I made fun of Bernie Sanders one time too many. And he was finally just like, that's it. Get out of my classroom.
Out the door.
Nothing.
Social media is hilarious because he's just going at it with diehard Republicans all the time.
It's just a constant fight.
Just a constant fight. And neither side wants to listen to the other.
Two people yelling at a wall.
The problem we have right now is everybody's sort of entrenched themselves into, this is what I think, this is what I believe, and you stop listening even before you can begin to learn something new. So that's got to be something we got to move away from.
Yeah.
By the way, I've been getting a ton of friend requests from recent graduates, and I've been accepting them because, they sit in the old Joey, I think you sent one like 5 months ago.
I did.
It just sits in the folder, and so you guys officially graduate. But man, you guys have a number of Trump supporters in the class of 2020.
Yeah, there's a good number.
Yeah, there's quite a few of them.
It's an odd class. We've got a lot of people that are oddly vocal about it.
Yeah.
like hold your beliefs and all, but like I don't care. I'll get on there and I'm seeing someone tweet like this or that, and it's like, you can't seriously believe you're gonna change anybody's mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, but like you're 18 years old, no one cares about your opinion yet.
Oh, I don't care about any, like if it's like even if it's like a 48-year-old, I don't care what that dude has to say. You're not convincing me.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the thing is, people are very quick, and this is one of the things that's difficult about getting on like the Advertiser Tribune page. Like when we closed the pool, because we would have lost like $47,000 just trying to operate it. And not only would we have lost that money, lifeguards by state requirement actually are not allowed to be the social distancing police. So we would have had to have hired additional staff to just walk around and tell people not to stand so close to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime someone went into the locker room, they would have to have someone standing right outside the door to run in and sanitize things afterwards. So we're talking, $47,000 projected loss, and then extra sanitizing equipment, PPE equipment, masks, things of that nature, and it would have been incredibly difficult. Right now we have 3 people working for the Parks Department. There's usually significantly more, and pretty well all they can do is mow right now. Because we normally hire summer workers. It'd be probably one of you 3 gentlemen outside mowing, with your Dan Fogelberg on your fancy Beats headphones and, on your Snap Face apps and what have you.
Hey, that's a combination of
TikTok.
two
Would
social
someone
media.
explain TikTok to me?
It's awful. I hate it. And Joey
I went viral.
Joey gets a big head, right? Because he'll make a video and he got like 1,000 views on it. And wasn't it
I
1,000?
got 200,000 views on one video.
Joey,
gets
a bunch
lucky
of
one time and he doesn't shut up about it.
so the way TikTok actually works is
I'm not
it's a
talking about it right
Chinese
now. You guys
it's a
brought it
Chinese
up.
app, and they put a bunch of bots on there to like pump up the ad revenue.
Huh.
So randomly these bots are gonna pick a video, and then they'll flood it. Now there is a huge actual viewer base as well, but in the early days it was a lot of bots. So that way they could make it seem like the audience was larger, which in turn made other people join more.
Yeah.
And then the whole thing kind of started out like a I don't know, what is that a Ponzi scheme or a pyramid scheme? Something like that.
Schemes are illegal.
Well, I'm pretty sure that you can't have TikTok in the armed forces.
No, you can. There's TikTokers that
Are you sure?
follow. Yeah.
I was pretty sure I remember Alex telling me that he wasn't allowed to have TikTok on his phone anymore.
Oh.
Well, some people are breaking rules then.
Yeah. Evan and I follow the same dude. I know what he's talking about.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's under a lot of scrutiny, or it was earlier, for like possible spying and like spyware on phones. So
Probably.
But now it's mostly just like between the age of 14 and 22, and it's people that put videos with music.
I have TikTok.
I just checked real quick. That one that went viral has 220,000 views on it.
Thanks, Joey.
How many
kind
likes?
Kind of a big deal.
How many likes?
53,000.
So you can see that
in the video.
There was about 53,000 real people that watched that video.
Do I want to know what you were doing in the video, or should I just?
I would play it, but it would just be awkward to play it, I think.
Which one is it?
The one where it strangled a kitten in an alley?
Yes,
like, what?
That one.
Why? Why would you do that?
Okay,
yeah.
Why do you look like you're 7?
He does look very young.
That's it.
I don't remember that one, and it looked awful. 0 out of 10. Can I dislike it?
Well, that's the thing.
You dislike a TikTok.
Is there a dislike button?
No, there's not. You can block people now, though.
No, report it.
I'm going to report it.
By the way,
you realize that means you don't have to download TikTok,
Pepper.
right?
What about Dr. Pepper?
Have you noticed the grammatical error in Dr. Pepper?
No period after the DR.
I don't know. I don't have a
Oh,
Dr.
yeah.
Pepper with me.
No
But
period.
they do put a period
DR.
after the pepper.
Yeah.
That's a trade right.
Trade right,
mark.
huh? Trade right?
Shut up.
And if I remember correctly, Dr. Pepper was like somehow classified as a food at one time, and not.
No wonder it's so nutritious.
Yeah. I think it started out in Waco, Texas, if I'm not mistaken.
Waco.
Is that the word of the day? Like, is green slime gonna come down on me now?
No, I heard Waco, and it just always makes me think of the standoff in Waco.
Oh, David Koresh, yeah. I was
I was there.
7th or 8th grade when that happened. There was some weird stuff that went down when I was growing up. There was Waco, and then there was shortly thereafter there was the Oklahoma City bombing.
Yeah.
And then, I'm 19 years old, and 9/11 happens, which is why I kept kind of talking with kids over this whole thing. Make sure you're writing some of this stuff down, because this is stuff you're going to want to tell your kids someday and your grandkids about how the world just basically came to a stop.
Yeah.
For a number of weeks, and I really hope we never live through anything like this again. But I felt so bad for you guys, because if there's any class that really deserved to get to enjoy all the perks of being a senior, and instead y'all just went out and just totally crushed senior skip day. You guys are all senior skip day champions right there.
I even skipped graduation.
Did you really?
No. Well, kind of, but no.
What do you mean, kind of, but no?
Well, like, I still showed up to get my diploma, but
He
like,
just wasn't happy.
I showed up, got my
He was
diploma, and
doubting the
left
whole
really
thing.
quickly. There wasn't
For
much
sure, physically, but
festivities.
spiritually, no.
Well, isn't that
I
what
got into a lightsaber fight with.
No, there was a
Mr.
lot of people that like went in front of the sign. Yeah, like Joey had a lightsaber fight with Mr. Mansour, and some people went in front of the sign and got a picture. And I was just kind of like, all right, and I got a picture by the bell and left. I was there like 5 minutes at most.
You guys know the history of the bell, right?
It's the
I
Liberty.
don't.
It got cracked when someone dropped it.
Is it correct?
No, that's the Liberty Bell.
Right. By the way, they
Yeah,
never actually
from
rang
It's Always
the Liberty
Sunny.
Bell when the Declaration of Independence was signed.
They what?
They never rang the Liberty Bell when
Really?
the Declaration of Independence was signed.
What's the point of it then?
Well, it was actually associated with the abolition movement in the 1840s.
Oh.
Yeah, oddly enough, but it's
Different type of liberty.
It just waited. It just bided its time.
and it cracked the first time they ever rang it.
Beautiful. That's not a good sign for abolition to come.
Oh Lord. And then the bell is actually from the old Monroe Street School, which used to stand where Columbian is now. That was in the bell tower, and they took that out. And actually, the gazebo's in somebody's backyard here in the city. I'm not sure where, or the bell tower is someone's gazebo. But that's where it came from, the old Monroe Street School.
Should take
Well,
in the
that's what
gazebo.
you guys rang after you went 9-2 this season, 9 times ringing the victory bell.
I played football, but I never got to ring that bell.
Why did you stop playing football? We've never had this conversation.
Oh man, it's a long. There's a lot of calling out that happens in it. So to put it as simply as possible, there were disagreements between myself and like one person to two people max, but also it's a lot of time.
It is.
And the biggest issue wasn't time in the summer. It was in the winter because, I've been in the musicals, and ever since sophomore year, I've had a lead role. And sorry, I didn't mean to make myself seem like a hot shot there. I didn't mean it that way. I just mean it took up a lot of time. And I couldn't make it to as many liftings as I guess was required, but not required because legally they're not required. You're not legally required to go to them. But I couldn't make it to as many as were recommended. So rather than continue to deal with not being able to make that, I just decided I was going to step down.
So I rang the bell 9 more times than Jimmy did.
You did. I ran it 0 times in my sophomore season.
Yeah, I think everything that could have gone wrong for you guys sophomore year went terribly wrong.
Very badly.
Just terribly wrong. And
it reminds me of the Browns.
Yeah.
What's that?
It felt like the Browns.
And the thing was, I watched, that was the year I did stats for Coach Lutz, and I watched every single play multiple times, and it was not from lack of effort.
No. No.
Not at all from lack of effort.
Yeah, that whole season was a multitude of things that were strange.
I wouldn't know. I didn't play that year.
It was a fun year. I had a good time. Honestly, I was going to keep playing, but that off season really it rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Now that football's over, I don't really know what to do.
Yeah, you kind of
took up my whole life.
Yeah, once you're done, it's a really oddly liberating feeling, and it takes about a year before you're reach that old man status.
Mm-hmm.
Where you're like, oh, I remember back when I played.
Yeah, and nothing's bad to remember. Everything's good.
Yeah, once you look back and remember, it's great. But then you remember Mount Union, and you're like, oh my good God, broke back Mount Union.
Oh jeez.
What?
So, I kid you not. We played Mount Union my freshman year at the College of Worcester in my ill-fated college football career, which I still have dreams that I've gone back and I'm playing again, but I'm 38 years old like I am now, and I'm in terrible shape, and I'm just
creaking.
I'm like, oh God, how am I going to be able to do conditioning? Like, I'm going to die. Like, really, legitimately, I'm going to die. Like not like the kind of die for you guys. Like, legitimately, I'm going to keel over dead because I'm 38 years old.
Heart attack.
Obese, and this is going to end poorly. But we played Mount Union, and I kid you not, guys, a second bus showed up at halftime, and an entire new JV team got off. And the other team got on the bus and went home.
Oh my God.
That's
And all of their
insulting.
JV linemen were 6'6", 330.
Oh my God.
And we tried to kick an onside kick, and it goes to one of their upbacks. It must have been like a fullback linebacker. And then he is running like a 7.440 down the sidelines, just slow as molasses. And people are just bouncing off of him. Like, other collegiate athletes are just throwing themselves at this guy, and he's just knocking them over and just gradually making it to the end zone. And then I think they scored like 50 straight points. And it was
Well, yeah, you got a whole new team.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, they were all fresh, and
Mount Union is a very nice place. I was very excited for when we went to Mount Union to play on their field, practice on their field. So we leave, we get there, we go to our rooms, we get set in. I've got everything on. I'm like, I'm so excited to play in this field. It's hot out. There's nice shade from the bleachers. It's going to be great. And we're walking, and we get to the field. I'm like, all right, we're here. And everybody keeps walking. And I'm like, hey, guys, the field's here. And the coach goes, no. It's that lot across the street. And we the whole week we were there, we practiced in a lot across the street.
like
Never.
lot.
It wasn't a parking lot. It was like a giant grass lot.
Yeah, it was like there's a field, a practice field, and then you keep going past like
The practice field.
doors behind someone's yard, and there's a big patch of land.
Yeah, and that's where we practiced. I never once set foot on the field. There was a 7-on-7, no big men. The big men went to the lot, and we just hit each other.
Practice of the day.
Yep.
Oh, I know that was the worst part. I mean, Evan and well, Joey, you were a defensive end, so you were almost a prima donna. Like, I always hated pre-practice because they'd tell the linemen, like, okay, you guys are gonna like push a sled or just beat the heck out of each other, and we'd look over and the receivers are just like really catching passes, and running backs are like, handing the ball off and jogging 2 yards, and, like, getting a Gatorade, and just all of their bleeding.
Yeah.
In terrible pain.
I was so chafed. Biggie, you remember how chafed I was?
Dude,
The last day, I was so chafed that they were like, we're running over to this area. And I didn't. I had my legs open, and I was like hot like this. And Coach Conley, in his infinite wisdom, goes, Skidmore, why are you running like that? I go, Coach, I'm bleeding out my crotch.
We also had, like, French foot at the time.
Yeah. I remember crying in the shower. I ain't afraid to admit it. Water hit how chafed I was, hit me just right. I cried.
There were other teams there, and Jimmy went up against this kid.
Oh, my God.
They blew the whistle, and the kid kept going and ripped Jimmy's shirt off. And Jimmy already had enough.
This was like day 2, so I'm already dead inside. And I literally
The shirt your grandmother gave you, and you.
Yeah, I'm not gonna sound like a big man here. It was just an even match. We were both just stalemate in the middle.
They were pretty even.
And at the end, when they blow the whistle, this kid had lost his footing. And this is like, he lost his footing. He's going like this. The whistle's blown. And he puts his other hand as he's falling on my shirt and just rips it from here, like all the way down. And it was like,
shirts we just got that
it was
day.
my TC Tough shirt I'd gotten that day. And I'm going to fight him. I'm getting ready to fight him. I'm walking over to him. I'm like, all right, dude, I said some things that were awful. As in, like, I would never say those to another human being again.
Heberling was scared.
Heberling, yeah. And, like, I was walking over to – I was basically –
shot at.
I was genuinely gonna beat this kid like half to death, and then Coach Cole like grabs me by the arm, and he's pulling me this way, and I'm just yelling profanity, something about his mother, something about hell, yada yada yada. So and like it's just full out. I'm mad.
And Coach Cole looks at the kid and goes,
Really, dude?
"Really, dude?"
It's like, yeah, man, you backed me up real good there.
What'd you want him to do? Just like jump the kid and start stomping on him?
I just wanted him to like at least be like not cool or be like really, dude, but like more like
Instead, he was
aggressively.
just like, really, dude?
The dude got off with it. Like he got off scot-free, and I'm mad about it. Because I don't even think we were allowed to be hitting. There's no way we were allowed. Were we allowed to be hitting?
We had shoulder pads, but I don't know.
No, we didn't.
Yeah,
We didn't have shoulder pads. I had my shirt on. We just had
Oh, my
helmets.
God.
We only had helmets.
Yeah, we only had helmets. You're right.
So, like, I don't even know if we were allowed to be hitting other teams.
There was one time in middle school where they actually made me practice without a helmet. I kept
Not
forgetting to
Tiffin.
bring a helmet to practice,
Not
and
Tiffin,
they
right?
made me practice without a helmet. This wasn't at Tiffin because I didn't move to Tiffin until 8th grade. So, yeah, the coaches were sick of me, like, forgetting a helmet. So they're like, you know what? You're not practicing with
without
a
it.
helmet.
Yeah, for OSHAA legal purposes, everything I said about Mount Union was satire.
Satire.
It was all satire,
I'm just not going to say where I went to school before Tiffin.
and it definitely didn't happen because it's
No,
satire,
it did happen.
and it wasn't real
It
because that's
happened.
what satire means.
Mount Union, man.
Brokeback Mount Union.
I have nightmares of it. It's
And I mean that as in, like, my spine hurt at the end, not like, you know.
So did the Cowboys.
Yeah, nothing to do with Cowboys.
I'm just wondering about your about that being like the title of your autobiography, like
Brokeback Mount
bleeding
Union.
from my crotch.
I'm Coach.
Give me more story.
Oh, it was so bad by the third day, I wanted mashed potatoes to take back to my room. And you weren't allowed to take food back to your room. And I really wanted these mashed potatoes, so I got a bunch of napkins. And I shoveled mashed potatoes into these napkins, and I curled it up in a ball in the napkins, and I put that in my pocket. And I took that back to my room and put it in a shelf. And about 11 o'clock that night after swimming, I came back to my room and ate mashed potatoes out of this napkin ball I had made. And it was delicious.
Why didn't you eat
paper
mashed
gave it
potatoes
flavor.
at dinner?
Because I wanted them later. Because we had practice after dinner. Was practice after dinner?
we had the 7-on-7s after dinner.
Yeah, and I didn't want to throw up. But that
And then we got
was
some rice.
I did get some. Oh my God, I don't know. Coach Tomaszewski is a very good man.
Yes, indeed.
He's a great coach.
Different era.
I about lost it on him because it was the last day. So this is after, I'm bleeding out my crotch. I'm sitting at the dinner table. We're getting ready to leave in like a half hour. And it's very surreal. I have a glass of chocolate milk. I have rice and chicken. And I'm sitting there and I'm very happy. I'm very happy. I'm alone. I'm eating my rice and chicken. And
Where are you at this point? Are you like in the parking lot? Like...
No, I'm in the mess hall.
Okay.
So I'm sitting in there eating. It's very nice. It's kind of cool. I got my chocolate milk. And
No more practice.
Coach Tomaszewski, he sits across from me. And I'm thinking, all right, this is fine. I could use a little company. And I'm just talking to him, yada, yada. And he's like, oh, I see you got rice there. And I was like, yeah. I like rice with my chicken. And he's like, rice is a great carbohydrate. And I'm like, yeah, it's a great filler. And he goes, it's not a filler. And he gives me easily a 15-minute speech about how rice is not a filler. It's one of the greatest carbohydrates, and it's great for you. And about 10 minutes into that, I genuinely was sitting there and I was thinking, is this what life is? Is this how I've chosen to live my life? I'm sitting here listening to this man give me a speech about how rice isn't a filler after just doing nothing but work for a week. And I just got to take it. Because what do I can't tell it. He's still a coach. I can't just be like, hey, can you leave? Like, I got to still sit there and listen to it. And I sat there, and the whole time he was speaking, I was just looking down at my food, and I'm just eating it. And I was so sad. That's the only word I could use to describe it. I was sad. I was like,
well, I bet you were definitely filled up at the end.
I was full, but man, it wasn't a filler.
Oh my Lord!
I think the worst part about that
Carbohydrate.
is they worked it up to be this amazing place, and then you get there, and he tells you, oh, there's all this food, you can swim, and then you get there, and he goes, why'd you guys eat all that food? You shouldn't have gone swimming.
Yeah. And we couldn't even go. Well, I could go swimming. The next year, Big E couldn't because the pool was closed.
Close.
Our year there, someone got a concussion off the diving board. So the next year, the pool was closed due to maintenance, even though other people were swimming.
Jeez.
But this was all lighthearted fun. None of this is a call out to anybody. We enjoyed our time at Tiffin Columbian High School. Great memories. We're just looking back on things with a good sense of humor.
Hey, that's what you got to do, man. And you know, there's I'm sure there's plenty of horrible memories you have at Columbian, and that's perfectly fine. I mean, that's what life is, man. It's a lot of great stuff and a lot of stuff that's just awful. And that's how that's how I get through things. I tell stories, and eventually things get funnier. As time goes on. But
Age makes all things funny.
The borderline child abuse you suffered while a member of a high school football team. You're like, oh.
That was funny stuff, man.
Remember that time they made us run until we vomited and then wouldn't give us any water?
And then remember when that one kid wouldn't vomit, so then you just punched him in the jejunum?
Remember the hose, Evan? Our only water was that hose that tasted like straight iron.
Oh, yeah. It's because those water tanks were put in during the Works Progress Administration in the 30s.
Oh, no. At Mount Union, it was this dude's well. It was the well in this dude's backyard. He had a hose hooked up to it, and we were pumping water out of it because that's the only water we had. Remember that, baby?
Yeah.
Did Evan get under covers during this? I saw him fiddling with a sheet the whole time.
What happened? Who?
Was Evan putting a blanket over his lap like a 80-year-old woman during this, or did I?
What were you doing?
Did I imagine that?
You got a blanket?
Got a little
Come on,
blanket.
dear, just let me put my blanket on.
My cat has joined the call.
Oh, super rad.
Hello, cat.
His name is Chooch.
His name is what?
Chuck.
His
But I
name's
call him
Chuck.
Chooch.
But I don't think Evan's gonna answer me. He's like, man, you're making fun of my lap blanket.
I don't
It's
have a
nice.
blanket
My
on.
grandma got it for me.
She
Actually,
brought
my
this over
grandparents
when she
are dead,
landed
so-
at Ellis Island in 1912, and you're making fun of me for it.
Oh.
And Jimmy's
Man.
lost interest because he's got a cat.
Yeah, because I got my cat. He's never been in a special guest star, my cat.
Cat's dumb.
He's going after Mr. Gillig in the title. It'll be special guest stars, Mr. Gillig and
Hold on.
Chuck.
Yeah, I feel
Mr.
bad that I
Lamar
totally messed up your
Gillig.
intro, by the way.
What about the? No, there's nothing. We don't really have an intro.
You guys need an intro. You guys need to develop a brand, and have people who are supposed to be in the interview show up and not say they don't have Wi-Fi in a car.
Oh, it's a good thing Tim will never watch this episode, but that's definitely a call out to Tim.
Yeah,
Oh.
Tim's going to look at the
I'll
amount of
give you a
time on this
anyway.
episode and be like, nope, I don't want to watch it.
The amount of times Tim has been like, yeah, I can't do it at the last minute. We're
Yeah.
pretty much used to it by now.
But what
Wow.
made you guys want to start this anyway?
That's a great question. Me and Joey decided to record an episode one day because Joey's YouTube channel needed a comeback. and
Well,
it
now,
stuck.
hold on. The actual story is I've been wanting to do a podcast in sophomore year, but I've put the idea through multiple friends, and then I decided to talk to Jimmy about it one day, and then Jimmy was like, oh yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. So then we started actually doing it, and yeah, the whole intention is to be like comedy show. Like it's supposed to be fun. Everyone's supposed to love it. It's going to be the best.
I've been in all but what, 2 episodes?
Yeah, and that was because you had something.
I think one time I was like sick.
Oh,
I think I had the flu one time.
little baby
We're
was
actually
sick.
fully recovered from the Mount Union chafing it.
No, genuinely.
He's still bleeding
At
to
the
this
fair,
day.
at the fair that year, I was still chafed, and that was like 3 weeks later. I was still chafed.
Can we briefly talk about the fair? Because really, when you think about it, it's weird. It's just all these like, kids from varying ages just standing next to animals. Like, I'll raise this animal. I'm gonna sell it to be murdered.
Yeah, but it's fun.
It's like all these animals are gonna be dead in 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
little
but look
morbid.
how cute it is.
Yeah, but not like the rabbits. Like the rabbits are probably still gonna be.
Look the sheep in the eyes, and I want you to tell it it's going to be okay.
I don't think your go-to is to. I think the sheep are one of the few that are okay. I don't think you just kill a sheep.
Have you ever had lamb? It tastes delicious.
Yeah, but I want the fur first.
Yeah, but they have a big slide there.
That is true.
That is true. They had a giant slide.
I've
ever had the
never
lemonade?
done that slide.
It was called Sky Slide.
You ever pay the $10.50 for the 12 ounces of lemonade? That's clearly just the package. Yeah, they put a real lemon in there to make you feel like it's real, but it's just the package stuff.
Yeah.
It's just Kool-Aid.
But yeah,
What's everybody's plan for? I know Joey's going to Otterbein, member of the wrestling team. Jimmy, for some reason, I'm picturing Baldwin Wallace. Is that
That is correct.
You got it.
going to Berea?
Yep.
Can you name their most famous alumni at Baldwin Wallace?
Is it the dude that directed Creed?
I don't know what that is.
No, I'm
Rocky
afraid I can't.
sequel?
Jimmy Carter.
Ooh. We're getting Clover Club for dinner, and I could not be happier about it.
Yeah,
My
I'm
wife
getting
sent me a
TJ's here
note like a
soon.
producer. He's like, I want a quesadilla from Clover Club. What can I order you?
So who was the most famous alumni?
Jim Tressel, the old Ohio State coach.
Oh,
Oh.
His dad Lee was Baldwin Wallace football coach for years and years. Locally, Mrs. Beeston is actually in their Hall of Fame at Baldwin Wallace. Phenomenal basketball player, probably one of the best female athletes we've had to come through in Columbia in a long time. And then also a gentleman by the name of Rich Fote, who's our city council president.
oh yeah.
He starred in football and track and field before joining the Army Corps of Engineers and actually serving in Vietnam for a little bit. So some pretty cool local history. The most recent people, I think, that are Colombian and Baldwin Wallace. There's a gentleman named Aaron Hurd, who's probably about 30 now. He was a wide receiver. And then there's a defensive back named Matt Bowen who went there. What made you decide on Sunny Berea, Ohio for
It's so close to the Cleveland Clinic. I want to do blood pathology.
Nice.
So it'd be nice to get in at the clinic. Or at least, if I could do like a residency or a internship there.
I'll be darned, Jimmy. That's pretty rad. I mean, people always can have blood.
They are. Not when I'm done with them. Not when I'm
What
done.
about you? What's your plan?
Me?
You.
So I haven't decided on what college to go to yet, which is pretty bad, but it's either Cleveland State or Akron for graphic design.
Super rad. Super rad. You know what I'd do if I were you? I'd see what you could maybe knock out of Terra next year. And just don't go yet. I mean, I honestly think sometimes we go to college a little bit too early because you're 18, you don't know what the heck you're doing, and now it's like, hey, I'm gonna take out a loan for about $50,000 and live by myself for the first time ever. And I'm 18 years old. So yeah, don't feel any pressure to get there, young Evan. You're doing just what
You
you're
have
supposed
plenty
to
of
do if
time.
you haven't quite figured it out yet.
Appreciate it.
Graphic design too. I like that. Can you design a exotic trash logo for the podcast or what?
Don't we have a pineapple?
Yeah, it's a pineapple trash can. It's a
Yeah.
hollowed out pineapple, and it's a trash can.
Is that from the river cleanup?
No, I made that.
Yeah, Evan made it.
No, but I remember that happened in Bio Club in the river
Yeah,
cleanup.
there was a bunch of hollowed out pineapples
Pineapples.
in the river for whatever reason.
Some dude got his pineapples and yeah.
Well, I don't mean to be rude, but we're gonna have to maybe wrap this up. My father's birthday party starts in 20 minutes.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's fair. I got to go to
Yeah.
dinner soon.
Evan's like, I don't mean to be rude, but I've grown really tired of talking.
I don't mean to be rude, but this is
Guys,
dumb
now.
and leave.
Evan's
No one is going to
in front
watch
of
an
us
hour
now.
and 20 minutes of us talking. Like, literally no one.
My mom will watch it. Hi, Mom.
My,
Okay,
People
please.
watch
my mom
it.
hasn't
It's
watched
fun.
it.
Super rad. Well, gentlemen, I got to tell you, like I said, it was just an honor getting to work with you guys. Class of 2020 has always been super special to me. Deal's still on. I know, Joey, I thought you were signed up.
Yeah, I would like to go.
That wants to do a history tour for the Tip and Pedal Company. It's
Oh,
totally
yeah.
free for you. Love to have you out there. And you just, I think you go to tipandpedalcompany.com or message them on Facebook. They'll get you all set up. I think we might be a couple weeks out on bookings, but we'd sure love to have you.
Yeah, we could do a vlog.
Yeah,
Live-
we were
live
thinking about
action.
having a vlog.
Live action.
Yeah.
Live action.
Where are you guys going for your dad's birthday? That's the big question.
We're having a cookout out back.
He's got to get outside in 20 minutes.
Well, people are over, and I don't want to leave them.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
All right.
All
I think
right.
we're about to have
Well,
a
this
bunch
was
of people.
super rad. How long did we talk for? What's the timing?
It doesn't give
Over
me a
an hour.
time.
I think we're over an hour.
We're over
We're
an
over-
hour. We're close to an hour and a half. We're really close.
Are we really?
Yeah.
Well, it's 5:30, so
We started at like 4:10.
Oh, jeez.
Wow. Well, it's just been such a natural flow of conversation. What can I say?
That's it. We're going to break this up into 10-minute chunks, and we're good for the next, 5
Year.
months.
every topic we have in this video, Will.
It's like part 1, Chick-fil-A. Part 2, Jimmy's Freaking Crotch.
Part 3, Brokeback Mount Union. Part 4.
All right, gentlemen, this was a real pleasure, and y'all got hosed for your senior year. I
Oh.
always feel very bad about that, but
Thank you.
if any class was equipped to handle it, it was you guys. And I'm not just saying that to, score any points or what have you, but if any class that had big enough shoulders to handle it, it was you guys. So
I do focus on my deltoids a lot.
we knew. I already saw you chugging a protein shake during this whole thing, Joey. So.
All right. Well, I'm your co-host, Jimmy Skidmore.
I'm your host, Joey Simcoe, and this has been
This has
Exotic
been
Trash.
the Exotic Trash Podcast.
Don't forget Evan.